In the great state of New Jersey, the quiet township of Mullica Hill has its own way of celebrating the spookiest night of the year. And nestled down in the southwest corner, on the outskirts of town, is Creamy Acres, a family farm that by day is home to cows and chickens, but come Halloween night, this peaceful farm is transformed into a gigantic attraction so big and so scary, it rivals even the most well-known theme parks.
Hello, I'm Ron Armbruster from Mile Hill, New Jersey, and welcome to my haunted farm.
For the last 20 years, Ron Armbruster and his team of friends have been hard at work constructing a sprawling 30-acre haunt by hand.
When we first started our haunted attraction, we started with just a small hay ride and a little walkthrough. And each year after that, we just started expanding on it.
Now, 18 years later, Ron's farm boasts 6 full-blown attractions, including a 3D funhouse, a frozen tundra, and a pitch-black house of horrors called the Mayhem of Darkness. Between the 6 attractions, the haunted farm has nearly 50 animatronic creatures and uses 200 gallons of fuel and 6 heavy-duty power generators a night to keep the haunt going.
Started the haunt small, and then it just started growing and growing, and brought us up to 18 years later, and we got one of the biggest haunted attractions around.
Ron's haunted farm covers more than 35 acres, with 5 house attractions situated on the north side. To the south, the haunted hayride cuts a curved path covering more than 25 acres, and on its own attracts upwards of 6,000 visitors a night. Since its inception, Ron's haunted hayride has gone from a tame 4-minute excursion into a 25-minute adventure boasting 15 separate installations, each one more terrifying than the next. Conceptualizing each scene on the hayride starts with a simple sketch that Ron draws himself. He and his team use the sketch as the basis for each of the hayride builds. All the installations are built from the ground up and take anywhere from 500 to 800 hours to complete. Ron and his team use primarily recycled materials that they find at local junkyards. Anything from an old car part to repurposed lumber is used to create the extraordinary and frightful scenes.
This here is what we call the cave. We got our 2 new animatronic monster dogs, and actually these dogs, when they go off, they start coming out like that, and then we got actors on here, and they're holding them back, and they're going out and jumping out to the wagon.
On Ron Armbruster's haunted hayride in Mullica Hill, New Jersey, many of the monsters are upwards of 30 feet high, and to give them their ghostly look, Ron uses materials including burlap, cheesecloth, and even old feed bags that he reclaims from his farm.
Coming up on our Angel of Death, this thing will swoop out, come over top the wagons, and it's actually what we call our greeter. Next up is our Headless Horseman. That stands up on its hind legs. He gets waving his sword around, and the horse spits out a little bit of fire on things. On our hayride, we got monsters all through the hayride, coming out at you in all different spots.
Each year, Ron and his team try to do something bigger and better than the year before. And this year, they've created an installation that is home to a 30-foot-tall, massive moving monster, the Necromancer.
Necromancer is one of our newest, biggest animatronic monsters we have out there. This one actually has monsters on top of monsters. It's got little monsters hanging off of him. They move all around. At the same time, he's moving all around. It's just one enormous monster.
With a monster this size with so many moving parts, things can sometimes go wrong, and they usually do.
Hey, Ron.
Yeah, Chris.
Necromancer's arm's broken again.
Yeah, I'll be there in a second.
With daylight fading, Ron's newest and biggest monster is malfunctioning.
We always have a lot of problems here to take care of, so I'm running 20 miles a day from one end to the other. What's wrong with this thing now?
Arm isn't working.
every freaking time. Every freaking time. With 6 attractions, you run into problems all over the place. And it wouldn't take anything to just knock one of them animatronics out. Anything from a spider getting into the eye sensor to water getting into the airlines.
With just hours until the crowds arrive, Ron has to work fast to repair his latest and greatest creation.
Is it jammed?
I don't think so.
This is my newest attraction, so if I don't get this thing fixed, I'm probably going to be madder than the customers that are coming through here tonight.
While Ron sets to work with his crew, back in Mullica Hill, New Jersey, Ron Ambruster has run into a technical snafu on his enormous haunted farm. After discovering a problem with one of his mechanical ghouls, he and teammate Chris work quickly to repair the necromancer before their 6,000 visitors arrive at nightfall.
Get everything going, and then something else goes wrong with it.
I think it's the cylinder.
With animatronics, you got a lot of air parts, moving parts, and the valves are always going bad. We got a bunch of them on there, and it's always caused me headaches. All right, what we got is Chris is checking one of the valves on here, and we think it's probably a good chance it's bad. So we want to swap that valve out and set it up, try it up, and see if we get this on to work. Alright, we got it all back in place. I got the air lines hooked up, electric lines, and we're going to see if this thing's going to fire up and be all ready for tonight. Alright, guess we got it. She's rolled. No matter how scary it looks right now, it's 1,000 times better at nighttime.
As darkness falls, guests begin to arrive to experience Ron's infamous haunted hayride.
We heard about it from a lot of friends over the years. Everybody said they've been going.
I got volunteered to drive 4.5 hours through New York traffic and Jersey traffic. For a year now.
You've been playing this for a year.
The wait is over. It's time for the ride of terror to begin.
All the fog machines are filled up, tractors are fueled up.
Each of Ron's 11 wagons holds up to 40 riders. Each wagon makes between 6 and 15 hayride trips, totaling up to 6,000 visitors per night.
We got all the actors together.
Amazing to see people that are so afraid of our makeup.
We want to get this thing started for a big night tonight.
I hate being scared. I literally hate being scared.
This is a hard racer for me.
The riders head into the darkened farm, just moments away from some of the biggest scares of their lives. They have no idea what they're about to see. At the haunted farm in Mullica Hill, New Jersey, riders are finally beckoned aboard the hayride wagons, and the ride of terror begins.
Oh, I don't want to do that.
We got all the actors together, everything geared up, tractors are fueled up. We're ready to go.
Can we set this or what? Let's go!
I want to like my hood up.
Under the cover of darkness, guests venture deep into the interior of the farm and encounter the first of Ron's spectacular hayride installations. The fire-breathing Headless Horseman. It's one of 3 features with pyrotechnics on the hayride. As the ride continues, the tension is so thick you could cut it with a knife or a chainsaw.
When they put it near you and you can feel the vibration, it just scares you.
Each bend in the road brings another big scare.
The thing that scared me the most was the noises. Oh my god!
That monster truck that came out of nowhere. That got me. I thought I was getting hit.
The ride of terror continues into the night, and deep into the darkened farm, things start to get very hot.
You can feel the heat coming all right.
Oh, yeah.
out of the fire and into the cemetery.
It's like an old-fashioned haunt. We got tombstones out there. We have two floating ghosts that come out over top the wagon and fly around.
The cemetery installation alone took 2 months and 350 hours to build.
Hopefully you find your way out of there.
As riders round the final bend, they come within 3 feet of the biggest monster of them all, the necromancer.
That is It's amazing.
The animatronics were ridiculous.
Finally, the ride of terror comes to an end.
This is by far like one of the coolest events that I've ever been to.
Awesome time. Best hayride, hands down, I've been to.
We made it through another night, and the way it sounded, I heard a lot of scares out there, and sounded like we had a real good night.
As another night winds down at Ron's haunted farm, nary a